You're going to want to do is locate the power wires on your charger and trace where they connect with the main power lines on the machine. This particular adapter uses a flathead screwdriver for the connections, but older versions will use an Allen key. You're going to want to start with the ground wire, and then after that remove the power wire. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to locate your charger and the 4 bolts that secure it in place. Using an 11mm or a 7/16, you're going to want to remove the 4 nuts and make sure you don't lose the washers that are behind the nuts. With all 4 removed, you can now gently pull off the cover. With the cover removed, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove this paper insulator and just set it off to the side because we'll be using that later. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to locate the chip. The older chip will have an S marked on it, and take mention that the sticker is on the bottom end of the plate near where the power lines go into the box. You want to get something to just pry it out. You don't want to dig too deep under that chip, and you just want to gently pry it out. Here you'll see the new chip marked with an I on it. The old chip, once again, has the S marking on it. So you're going to want to set the old chip to the side, take the new chip, and you want to be very careful with this. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure the I is set at the top, near where the power lines come into the box. You're going to want to set it in place and just gently push it down until all the pins are in place. And you're going to want to inspect both sides to make sure none of the leads on the chip are bent. Once you've confirmed that everything is in place correctly, the next thing you're going to want to do is take your paper insulator and place it back inside. And now you're ready to put the chip back onto, or the board back onto the charger. So you want to be careful of the wires as you're putting it in place and gently close the lid. Now we're going to take our 4 bolts, or our 4 nuts with washers, and we're going to put them back in place. And you want to snug these up. You don't want to over tighten these. Here I'm using a power drill on a light setting, and I'm not smoking it down too much, just keeping it very, very gentle. They just need to be snugged. Then we're going to go back to our main power connector, and this time we want to start with our power wire. And this particular machine has a power switch that's using the same connecting port, but other machines will generally and typically have just the wire coming from the charger going into this channel. So we're going to start with the power wire first and just snug that into place. And then we're going to follow up with the ground wire. And once you make connection with the ground wire, you will hear a beep from the charger if everything is done correctly. So now we're going to move back to the charger. You'll see this tiny red button that's on top. If you just tap it, you should hear a little beep. This ensures that everything is connected properly. Last thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a known power source and connect an extension cord to it and plug the machine in. You will hear another beep when you plug the machine in. And then you're going to want to go to your charger and look for a red light. If you see a red light, then everything is correct.